Maayong adlaw, mga minahal namong tigpaminaw, ning atong sibya sa Radyo, Kahibalo ug Katakus, dinhi sa Usamis City School of Arts and Trades, Usamis City. Kini nga programa, maghatod ka nato sa kahibalo ug pangamot, ilabi na sa atong mga kabataan. Karon nga takna, gigahin nato kini para sa mga estudyante sa grade 8 with technical vocational specialization in domestic refrigeration and air conditioning, quarter 1, module 1, week 1 and 2 with the title Prepare Materials and Tools. Before we are going to start, make sure that you have with you our module, your pen, your extra paper, and some materials that might be available in your homes. In the past, people had to make do with ice box to keep their food stuff cold, if only for a short period of time. Today, almost every household has a refrigerator, and it's difficult to imagine a kitchen without it. Our rooms as well necessitates air conditioning. Clearly, this will give rise to a huge market for people in the refrigeration and air conditioning industry. Refrigeration technology has gone a long way. Today, domestic refrigeration technology has branched out into industrial refrigeration, commercial refrigeration, and transport refrigeration to cater to the demands of a diverse and expanding market. The objectives for our lesson is 1. At the end of this module, you are expected to perform the tasks expected of a refrigeration repair specialist, and to perform the task expected of a troubleshooter in the process and delivery of the refrigeration and air conditioning techniques. First, we are going to identify the materials and tools used in domestic refrigeration and air conditioning. Tubes and hoses in refrigeration and air conditioning unit. Installation of pipes, tubes, hoses, and fittings is impossible without the necessary tools and materials. First, we have the copper tubing. It is the tubing that carries the refrigerant to various components, to the vital parts of the refrigeration system. Copper tubing is the most common material in the refrigeration piping circuit. It is used to connect the major parts of the refrigeration system, such as the evaporator coil, the compressor, the condenser coil, the expansion valve, and other components. Copper tubing is available in 3 types. We have the type K, type L, and type M. Type K tubing is used for heavy-duty purpose because it has a thick wall. Type L tubing is used for interior plumbing and heating. It is the most common type of HVAC system. And type M is used for light-duty works. There are 2 kinds of copper tubing. 1, we have the soft copper tubing. Second, the hard-drawn copper tubing. The soft copper tubing is used in domestic and some commercial refrigeration and air conditioning work because it is easy to bend and flare. Being bendable, this tubing must be supported by suitable brackets or clamp in installation. Thus, soft copper tubing is often used with flared and soft soldering fittings. Second, the hard-drawn copper tubing. This is commonly used in commercial refrigeration and air conditioning applications. Being hard and stiff, it needs clamps to support it in installation. Hard-drawn copper tubing should not be bent. It must be fitted to a certain component for it to be connected. Hard-drawn refrigeration tubing joints should be silver braced to eliminate leaks. Another kind of tubing commonly used in domestic refrigeration and air conditioning is the steel tubing. This is a thin wall tubing used in refrigeration and air conditioning work. Its size is practically the same as that of copper tubing. Hence, connections may be made on steel tubing by using either flare joints or silver braced joints. Third kind of tubing is the stainless steel. This is a strong type of tubing that is very resistant to corrosion. It is also easily connected to fitting by either flaring or bracing. Because of these qualities, stainless steel is often required in food processing, ice, oven, manufacture, milk handling system, and similar works. Fourth kind of tubing is the plastic. This type of tubing is with polyethylene, and one of the most common substances used in the manufacture. The usual safe temperature is from 100 degrees centigrade to 175 degrees. You should never use this tubing where fluid temperature goes beyond this limit. Fifth, the flexible tubing or can be considered a hose. This is commonly used in suction lines in many refrigeration systems and in commercial air conditioning applications. This type serves to protect vibration in the mechanism. Air conditioning equipment for a motor vehicle requires the use of flexible tubing since the vehicle is always moving. The sixth and last kind of tubing is the aluminum tubing. It is usually used for evaporating units in air conditioning for home and automobile. Commonly, it is used for evaporator or commonly called the freezer of our domestic refrigerators. The special type of treatment for soldering or bracing is needed in this kind of tubing. Another material that is commonly used for domestic refrigeration and air conditioning application is the fitting. A fitting is a device used to connect tubes of different widths and lengths. First type, the flaring tube fitting. This is used in flared type connection to attach fittings in copper tubing. There are many different fittings which are hexagonal in shape, particularly for wrench attachment. These threaded fittings must be carefully handled to prevent damage of each thread. All fittings used are based on the tubing size. The common flare fittings used in commercial and domestic refrigeration air conditioning are the following. We have the flared T fitting. We have the flared union coupling. We have the flared half union coupling. We also have the flared 90 degrees elbow, the flared nut, the flare cup, the flare plug. For the flare hose fitting, we are going to include the necessary accessories in order for these fittings to be connected, such as the following. Coupling straight male 45 degrees flare or a screw-on reusable type. We also have the coupling straight male push-on barb type reusable with O-ring seal. Coupling straight male 45 degrees flare, it is permanently crimp-on non-reusable. We also have a coupling of 90 degrees male push-on barb type reusable with an O-ring seal. Last, we have the coupling straight male 45 degrees flare push-on. Third, we have the soldered or braced tube fitting. This type is used in most tubing and fitting connections that are either made by soldering or silver brazing. Soldered joints are used for water pipes and drains. Silver brazed joints are used for refrigerant pipes and fittings. The common fittings may be either be soldered or silver brazed to tubing, such as the coupling with rolled stop. We also have the T braced tube fitting. We also have the 90 degrees elbow braced tube fitting. We can also have the adapter as well as the flare cup. Mga minahal kong mga estudyante, hinaot daghan kamo og nakatunan sa atong pagtuon niini nga kabuntagon. Agi og pagsukod sa atong nahibaw-an, I will be giving you a short quiz. Please get your pen and your paper. Number 1. Enumerate the tubes and hoses commonly used in domestic refrigeration and air conditioning works. Number 2. Enumerate as well the fittings commonly used in our application. Third and last, give at least 2 kinds of domestic refrigeration and air conditioning hose and its uses. Dinhi na lang ako kutob ug magaingon kaninyo. Ang edukasyon mao ang ganghaan, padulong ngadto sa mas hayag ug hamugaway nga kaugmaon. Abrihi ug kabuta kini. Kini ang inyong magsisibya ug magtutudlo, Sir Nick Raynier Paez, magaingon kaninyo, daghang salamat ug maayong adlaw kanatong tanan.